Hello and welcome to TTD's webinar with Destination British Columbia. I am Maddie Barber, the Special Projects Editor at TTG Media, and I'm joined today by Lisa Cooper, who is the Account Director at Destination British Columbia. So thank you for joining me today, Lisa.
You're very welcome, Maddie. It's good to be here.
It's great to have you. During this webinar, we're going to be covering all the essential information you need to sell British Columbia. So that includes how to get there, who the destination will appeal to, and the customer budget required. We're going to cover destination highlights spanning road trip itineraries, city breaks, nature and wildlife sites and experiences, as well as British Columbia's food and drink scene. And then towards the end of the webinar, we will talk about marketing advice, selling tips, and any other agent supports that Destination British Columbia is offering you right now. So a few introductory questions to set the scene. Lisa, how frequent are flights from the UK and Ireland to Vancouver, and which carriers are offering the routes at the moment?
We've got direct flights with Air Canada, British Airways, and we've got indirect flights now with WestJet and Air Transat. As a rule, during the summer, it's daily with Air Canada and British Airways. You can get into Vancouver any way possible, or other parts of the province. You know, if you go indirectly with with either Air Canada, BA, WestJet, or Air Transat, and they usually go via Toronto. At the moment, we're coming into the winter, so it's a winter schedule. So it's usually probably about 3 or 4 days a week. But during the summer and the peak season, it'll be weekly.
Okay, great, thanks. And once visitors have arrived in British Columbia, what's the best way to get around if they're keen to see more than just the city?
Well, this is the dream destination for those people that want to get back to nature, have a love of wildlife, and are just a little bit more adventurous. And the best way that you can do that is to explore it behind the wheel of a car or a coach or an RV. Or for those that really want to try something different, why not explore the many inlets by boat? We've got quite a few sort of small yacht providers that have these amazing tours that they do that will take you inside the inlets. It is a big province. There is a lot to discover. So following the open road is the way to do it.
Okay, great. And when agents are marketing British Columbia, what type of client should they be targeting?
Ideally, it's somebody who's kind of time rich and cash rich. Traditionally, our audience tends to be over 40s. They tend to have more time to spend on vacation. They have more money, and they tend to be looking for something a bit different. And they like the kind of pace of life that BC can offer. But that said, we've also got families. It's the perfect destination for the older family. So those teenagers that don't really want to go on a holiday with their mum, but they want to go on a holiday and they don't want to pay for it. If the mum's looking for that kind of the last chance teenage holiday and they want to make a big adventure, then BC is perfect for that.
Okay. And you mentioned budget there. Are you able to give us an indication as to roughly how much budget a client would need to visit British Columbia?
Roughly, I mean, if you're going to do a quick 2 weeks, it's a big province.
Yeah.
You'll be thinking about £3,000 per person. Depending on the style of holiday, you know, an RV could be cheaper sometimes, etc. But if people are looking to, use this as a bucket list holiday and a dream holiday, and they want to go on the Rocky Mountaineer, for example, or they want to do one of these small yacht holidays, or they want to spend some time at a bear lodge, you can probably up that budget to about 5,000 a person. It's not a cheap destination, but it is worth every penny.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So moving on to destination highlights, you mentioned road trips there that are great in British Columbia. What are some of the best or most popular road trip itineraries in the destination?
Best or popular? That's a really tricky question because the most popular are the traditional going into Calgary, going up the Icefield Parkway, and then coming into Jasper, and then coming down into Vancouver, going down into BC and into Vancouver. People tend to know that. I kind of call it personally, my little joke is the Golden Triangle. It's a well-trodden path, and it is beautiful because you get to see two sides of the Rockies. The other most popular destination really is going to probably be Vancouver and Vancouver Island. People tend to know that they've heard of Vancouver Island and that's the thing that they want to do. But in my opinion, one of the best places to go is to actually go into Vancouver Island and then get the BC ferry up the Inside Passage and go up to northern BC. This is really road less travelled. It's a beautiful, beautiful part of the province, and you've got more natural wildlife up there and lots of indigenous, heritage and culture. But then, conversely, go to the southern part of the province and come along. We've got the desert in Soyuz. Yes, yeah, we've got a desert. And then go up into the Kootenay Rockies, and you've got this whole other different experience where it's you've got this whole kind of desert vibe. You're going into the Thompson Okanagan, which is the wine region, and then you go into the wildness of the Kootenay Rockies, which again is a different vibe completely.
Okay, wow, sounds amazing. Now, some clients may just want a city break in British Columbia. What are their options? And what attractions or activities make British Columbia cities so special?
Well, Vancouver is one of the best cities in the world, and I know I'm biased, but the reason for this, and the reason I say that, is because it is literally 20 minutes from nature. It's the gateway to nature. From the harbour in Vancouver, you can see the mountains, and like I said, within 20 minutes you can be up in Grouse Mountain and actually in the mountains themselves. 90 minutes up the Sea to Sky Highway, you're in Whistler. And people tend to know Whistler for skiing in the winter side of things, but in the summer it's absolutely gorgeous, and there's some really good outdoor and adventurous activities you can have up there. So that's two cities. Not forgetting the province capital, Victoria. I love Victoria. It is the perfect blend, like a fine tea, of Britain and Canada, and you've got this whole kind of mixed vibe. It's like a British Canadian fusion going on in Victoria, and lots of history and heritage there. And that is a small ferry ride or a float plane ride away from Vancouver. And then you've got other smaller, not so much cities, but mountain towns like Kelowna and Golden and Nelson. But the three bigger cities that you would instantly think of would be Vancouver, Victoria, and Whistler.
Great. So I know that British Columbia is also known for its spectacular scenery. I can see some of it behind you there in your background. Can you talk us through how the scenery varies across the province?
So 75% of the province is made up of temperate rainforests, and 75%, not the same 75%, is made up of mountains. So you've got this wilderness, you've got the wild forest, but you've also got the wilderness here, the wildness of the mountains as well. Couple this with oodles of lakes and oceans, and you can almost breathe the fresh air in from here. The scenery is epic. It's stunning and beautiful. It changes every hour depending on the weather or the location of the sun.
Great. Okay. So we now have a short video to show you that's going to really bring that spectacular scenery to life. Let's take a look. Wow, that looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, I'm sold just based on the scenery, to be honest. And I know that British Columbia's wilderness is teeming with wildlife. What are some of the best wildlife experiences or encounters that visitors can have when they visit you?
Wow, we have got a lot of to offer in terms of wildlife when it comes to BC. Generally, in and around Vancouver Island are some of the best places that you can experience the wildlife. Anywhere close to water is where you're going to find bears, and this is because bears gravitate to the water for eating and for whales to swim in. But in the rainforest, you're going to be able to see the bears as well. But let me just tell you a little bit more about the bears. We are the only place in the world that is home to the spirit bear. Now, a spirit bear is a blonde grizzly bear. It's got a genetic mutation, and there's not very many of them around within BC itself. So this is one of the places that you can go and see them. We've got lots and lots of grizzly bears all around the Great Bear Rainforest. The clue is in the title, and that probably takes up a good sort of like a third of the province on the west coast. However, on Vancouver Island, we don't have any grizzlies, but we do have black bears. So black bears, you can go and do some motion tours there, and you can go and see the black bears there. And we have black bears in the main province as well. So that's the bears. We've got otters. We've got seals. We are home to the majestic bald eagle. And the further up north you go, anywhere again on the coastline, you're going to see hods of bald eagles, which is really exciting for us as Brits because we don't have them over here. And the last time I was up in the northern part of BC, they were just sat in a tree, and there's probably about 20 of them. And I was just like transfixed looking at this tree because we just don't get to see that. The other kind of wildlife that you need to consider for BC as well is ocean wildlife. Whales. We're very, very lucky that we've got 3 resident orca pods around Vancouver Island, 2 around the south, around Victoria, and 1 up in the north. And during the pandemic, we had 2 calves born within the J orca pod, which again, we get really, really excited about because orcas aren't born very often. So to have 2 within sort of the last 18 months is huge excitement. And it means that they are reproducing and everything is well in the orca world. So they're the resident orca pods. We also have transient orca pods that come in, as well as humpbacks, grey whales, minke whales, and all sorts that come in throughout the season. So when you're going out on a whale watching tour, be that from Victoria or Northern Vancouver Island, or as part of your lodge resort holiday, you will get the chance to see some of this ocean wildlife.
Wow, plenty to see. And the calves, I bet they're really sweet if they can be spotted.
I know. I mean, I've seen a couple of videos, and you literally just hear people squealing because you've got a tiny little calf, and it's nature at its best, and it is super exciting.
Yeah, lovely. Okay, and I know that travellers are getting more and more environmentally and socially conscious when they travel. What are you or British Columbia as a destination doing to promote responsible tourism?
So, Maddie, did you know that Greenpeace was founded in BC?
I didn't.
We are all over the environmental and sustainability. BC is big on sustainable tourism, and we've got many, many initiatives running. But what I'll do is I'll give you a good couple of really good examples. In Vancouver, we've got the Ocean Wise Sustainable Food Programme that's been running for the last 15 years. So all fish and seafood that is served has been caught sustainably. Harbour Air, I'm literally bullet pointing this because I could go on for hours and I don't want to bore everybody. Harbour Air launched its first fully electric float plane last year. Again, that's a massive coup, and again, working for the environment. During the pandemic, the local small ship business owners got together and they worked throughout 2020 to go and cleanse all the beaches along a 1,000-kilometre stretch of coastline within the Great Bear Rainforest. So they couldn't have people. They weren't, their business was gone during the pandemic. So they cleaned up the beaches, which was a phenomenal feat. Many of the helicopter operators are offsetting their carbon footprint by planting a new tree after every trip they take. So again, they understand going up in a helicopter is not good, but helping the rainforest to maintain is good. I won't go on anymore, but to suffice to say, practically every hotel is building on their sustainable actions, be that beehives on roofs, low flow taps, biodegradable cleaning supplies, retrofitted 2-flush loos. It goes on. It is huge. It is such a big thing in BC.
Wow, that's really great to hear.
It's good.
So moving on to kind of marketing and selling tips, do you have any marketing advice for agents that are selling or looking to sell British Columbia?
We work with many of the B2B tour operators such as First Class Holidays, Prestige Holidays, Premier Holidays and Canadian Affair, and often we have marketing initiatives that go on with them. And when we work with them, we always have agents front of mind as to what will work for you and to help you close a sale. So, whenever you see something with any of those guys or some of the B2B operators, I always think that we've got you front of mind, and they will support you. So that's one angle. Um, they've got a really good breadth of product knowledge, and they're always on hand to help you and to help you tailor your customers' holidays. And one of the things that we always, when we train and we talk to them, if you ask a question that they don't know the answer to, they will come to us because we're on hand to help. And the same goes for any agents. If you've got one customer who's asking where X is in the middle of the province and nobody has a clue in your office, then come through to us and we'll be there to help you. And just take advantage of all the stuff that the guys from like First Class, etc., send out to you and to promote the province.
Okay, cool. And what about selling tips? Do you have any kind of golden nuggets of advice that you think could help agents boost their British Columbia sales?
Yeah, I will. One of the things I'd say is that we know it takes a bit more time and energy to book a BC holiday. It's a big place and it can be a tad daunting. Two things. Don't try and cram everything into 2 weeks. Try and encourage your customer to spend more time in the province. And that way they'll enjoy it. So you will take the time to craft their own itinerary for them, and then they will come back and say how much they enjoyed it. And I know, as I said, it takes a bit more time, but please persevere. You'll be making someone's dream come true, and the commission will be worth it.
Okay, great. And how can agents find out more about British Columbia if they would like to?
Destination Canada are just launching or relaunching their Canada Specialist Program, and we're part of this. This is a really cool tool that will give you lots of information, knowledge, and confidence to book a holiday. And again, we work with the likes of Prestige Holidays. So if you get invited to a roadshow, please turn up, because the likelihood is that we're going to be there as well. And you can ask us questions. We do have a contact number on our website. If you are lost and you're feeling a bit like you need some help, give us a call and we'll be there to help you at any given time. In terms of working on fam trips, etc., and incentives, this is always done through our B2B tour operator partners.
Okay, great. And just before we wrap up, is there anything else agents should know about selling British Columbia right now?
The only thing I can say is, if your customer wants to go somewhere where they can feel relaxed, safe, and at one with nature, then BC is the place to be. This is pure escapism, and it's the opportunity to get at one with nature. And if that's what your customer's looking for, we will tick the boxes.
Great. Thank you very much, Lisa, for joining and sharing all your insights today. It's been fantastic to hear about British Columbia.
Brilliant. Thank you, Maddie.
And thank you to everyone who has tuned in to watch. I hope you've learned something new today. And please do remember that you can always check out the Destination Canada Hub on tcgmedia.com for more Canadian educational content. So thank you again and take care.